Hello guys, welcome to the next video on Linux command line tutorial for beginners. In the last video I've shown you how you can change the permissions of the file using chmod in Linux. Now in this video I'm going to show you how we can change the permissions of the directories in Linux using chmod and what are the consequences of changing the directory permissions. So let's get started. As you can see here, I have a directory called dir on my desktop. So I will change my directory to desktop first of all, and I will do the long listing of this directory. So here I will just use L and D because it's a directory, and then the directory name, which is dir, right, and press enter. And in here you can see the file permissions. Now in the last video, as I have shown you, this first letter shows the type of file or directory. So because it's a directory, it's showing D here. Next three values here is the permissions of the user, and next three is the permission of the group, and the next three is the permissions of everyone else, right? Now let's change the permission of this directory for the user so that we will reduce the write capability of the user. For example, I will just write chmod here, and then I will do user minus w, which means we are subtracting the write permission from the user and the directory name. Okay, so just press enter, and then I will do the long listing once again, and now we can see the user doesn't have the right permission. So now you can see there is a lock symbol appears on the directory, right? So because it doesn't have the right permission, that's why this lock symbol appears. So let's say we want to ls the content of the directory, so I will just do ls dir, for example. It shows that this directory has 3 files, right? And let's say I will just change to the directory, so I will go inside the directory and I will do ls here, and in here, for example, I want to create a new file, for example file 4. So what I will do is I will just use a touch command and I will just write file 4 here. So I want to create a 4th file here, and when I press enter, you can see it says permission denied because we have taken the right permissions from the user, so he cannot create any new file inside the directory, right? Now for example, I will just go out one directory back to the desktop, and now I will just once again give the permissions to the user. So right permission I'm just providing, so user plus w, which once again will provide the right permission to the user, and then this time I want to take the read permission from the user. Okay, so I have added the write permission once again, and I want to subtract the read permission from the user. So let's see what happens when we do this. So just write chmod u minus r, which will subtract the read permission from the user for the directory, and let's do the long listing here. Just do this long listing, and you can see the read permission is taken from the user now, right? Now I will once again go to the directory inside the directory, for example. So I will do cd dir, and we can go inside the directory, but when we do ls here, you see it says permission denied. So we cannot read the content of the directory. We can go inside the directory, and we know that this directory contains 3 files, but because we have taken the read permissions from the user, we cannot read the content of the directory. Okay, so this is when we change, or when we take the read permissions from the user. So once again I will provide the read permissions to the user. So chmod u plus r, which will once again give the read permission to the user for this directory, and it says this directory. Okay, first of all I need to go to desktop, so change directory to the desktop and then provide this command. Okay, and once again I will do long listing of this directory. So ls minus ld directory, and now we have the read permission also for the user. Now this time what I want to do is, let's take the execute permissions from the user, for example. So I will just do chmod, then user minus x for the directory, right, and press enter. And once again I will do the long listing, so ls minus ld for the directory, and you can see the execute permissions from the user is taken, right. So now what I will do, once again I will try to go inside the directory, which is dir, and it says permission denied, right. So I cannot execute anything with this directory. So let's do ls with directory and press enter, and this also gives us the permission denied, right. So it shows the content of the file, but access to this files is not possible, right. So you cannot even go inside the directory, so you cannot access the content of the file. So for example, I will do ls minus l, long listing of the directory, and you can see everywhere it shows the question mark, but it shows the names of the file, but the permissions it's not showing, because you don't have the permission to see even the permissions of the files inside this directory, because we have taken the execute permissions from this directory. So this is how you can change the permissions of the directory, and this is how the changing of the permissions of the directory behaves. So this is the consequences. So if you remove the execute permissions, you cannot change the files, and you cannot even view the permissions of the file. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.